What's up, everyone? How is everyone doing? It's your girl JJ. We're gonna react to the Marvel drama because I know that's what's on everyone's mind. So let's get on with the video.
I haven't heard of video game drama this big since the whole Dream Minecraft speedrunning saga. What's happening with the Marvel Rivals $40,000 tournament situation is pretty bizarre. In a nutshell, there was a Marvel Rivals tournament with a $40,000 prize purse. There was a player by the name of Kingsman who really wanted to take this seriously, making a mention that this money would be very helpful to him as a college student. And the rest of the team didn't seem to take it all that seriously, and eventually when Kingsman was trying to, make changes to the team comp so they could better stand a chance at winning, they all attacked him, and eventually it led to him getting kicked from the tournament. His team then went on to place second to last in the tournament.
He dies.
By the way, I saw the whole video. The whole 1 hour and like 20-minute video when I was doing errands. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on, but let's see what Penguin has to say.
Okay, guys. Pace and point proven right now. Do you understand?
No, it's well, you've been making me feel like shit. Of course I'm gonna
How
play.
do you not see the problem right now?
Wait, first of all, it's that ass Kingsman. Like, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Okay, hold up. So I think that means how many times they died, right? So where is Kingsman? Lucy, Casey, Zaza, Hitsman. Okay. Yeah, he had the most. Okay, that's him. Okay. I think that means he died twice. He had 1 assist, right? And then dang, hold up. That's a hard carry, not gonna lie. I don't know who Mother is. I know there's 4 girls on the team, 2 guys. I don't remember the guy's name. I know Zaza's the one they're talking about, Widow. Cece's the captain. Casey's the one who made the. I believe she was the one who made the Israel comment. I think that was her. That's why I said think, because I can't recall. I don't know who Mother and Lucy are. Mother did pretty good. The assist. So Widow died 5 times. Same with Casey. So that's a lot of deaths. That looks like something I would die. Anywho. My golly goodness. I play as Squirrel Girl, by the way. So I don't know how good all this. Wait. What does 3 mean? Does that mean that's how good you are? Because someone's ranked 45. What does all this mean? This is someone who does not play Marvel on the daily, by the way. So like, I'm so confused what these numbers mean. I was like, is that their ranks? Because I'm like, what the turd? Anywho.
Well, it's that ass Kingsman. Like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, bro.
You're doing too much.
Lucy's not even on Invis. Second of all, you're getting value because
No. She shouldn't be dead.
Yes.
I'm getting value because I'm 1v6ing.
Hulk isn't dealing for you, bro. Yes, Zaza is 0-5, but we won the point, bro. Why? Because they were hard. Like, 4 people are dying here. That means 4 of their util, 4 of their resources are all spent on Zaza.
I saw this a couple days ago and I was so confused.
4 of their resources are spent on Zaza. Wouldn't it be bad if she died 4 to 5 times? Because that means more points for them. And isn't like with Marvels, you are supposed to claim someone's base, but like, how would the tournament rules differ? That's why I'm a little confused on that. Because I'm just like, what do you mean using their resources? So I don't know. It's just like, so you want them to bully one character, one player? That's a little confusing on my side.
Why anyone would be joining a tournament if they didn't actually care about winning at all. So he is very clearly trying his best to help the team win. And they were talking about like how toxic and annoying and insufferable he was, things like that, which eventually led to him getting kicked and being like disrespectful, that kind of thing. From all the clips I've seen, he never made any like personal attacks against anyone. He was never even like overbearing or like yelling and screaming. The closest he came was in this clip here where he's like, do you understand? Like, case in point, we should make a switch. This isn't working. Our widow is 0, 5, and 0, which is a very fair point and a good suggestion because it clearly wasn't working. They may have won the point, but I think it's a large part because Kingsman put the team on his fucking back here. Like 18 and 2, he was kind of going Insano style. I don't know why this became such a huge issue for his teammates where they hated him so much for trying to win that they started insulting him after the fact. And that's where most of the drama stems from. Them refusing to switch is one thing that feels like it's kind of trolling and just intentionally throwing the tournament for the sake of vibes, which is weird because, again, just go play quick play or something. Why even bother going into a tournament if the goal isn't to try and win it? He made it clear he wanted to sweat because this would be very important money for him in his situation with college. Now, I also heard that when the tournament was put together, there wasn't an announcement about how much money was on the line. So I think maybe there was some confusion from the team where they wanted to just play for fun and sillies and goofies. And then once $40,000 was announced, they still had that mindset. Meanwhile, Kingsman really wanted a piece of that pie because it would be helpful to him. It'd be like $3,000, which is a significant amount of money, especially for someone in college where this could be very useful. So that clashed where he really wanted to win. His team, who they didn't give too much of a fuck. They didn't think it was that big of a deal. So he, throughout like their time playing together, would be making like suggestions and saying like, hey, you know, there's going to be this in the tournament, there's going to be that, maybe we should look at this, maybe we should look at that. And I think they were just getting so annoyed that he was wanting to win so badly that they started to really resent him for it. It eventually led to like the bubbling over point where he got reported to the tournament organizer. They said a whole bunch of nasty stuff about him, and then it snowballed into what it is today, mainly because the team captain was so vocal about her disdain for this guy. She said things like, I'm pretty sure he spent all 20 years of his life inside playing video games, which is why he left.
So, yeah, so the reason why this happened, right, is because, okay, I saw the whole video, by the way. She picked Kingsman. She didn't know who Kingsman was, but she picked him on his team. From the get, Kingsman said, I'm here to win. So I don't know when they came for the money, but from the get, Kingsman said, I'm here to win. If you really have time to watch that full video, you can. I just put it on when I had background. I had to do errands and stuff, so I had that background. But he was there like, I'm here to win, but he was nice about it. But she said, I'm just here for the vibes. 100%. It's like, first rule, number one rule, it's all about the vibes, right? And like, when it comes to competitive, this is the problem. So the person who made this competition bombs. It's like, this is a creator, not a competition. But the minute you put money into this thing, this tournament, it becomes a competition. So Bombs has his own problem where he thinks, oh, it's cool because he's like talking about zero tolerance policy, where it's like, oh, it's still supposed to be for fun or something like that. But he put in $40,000 on the line, so it makes it competitive. It's not going to be the vibes now, because you don't have all competitive gamers. You have content creators that are not on the same page. Everyone's going to feel a different way. That's like, okay, that's like, we are playing competitive. Let's say we're doing Super Bowl, right? You get a bunch of people who don't even know how to play, right? But there is $50,000 on the line, right? You get all these people who don't know how to play. Half of the people who do know how to play, and like they are competitive. That is no way that's gonna work, because they're gonna take that so much more serious than people who are like, oh, this will relax, so right? And that's the whole problem. It's like no one's gonna be on the same mindset. So that money incentives over, that's like, you know, the Mr. Beast games, right? Like, you see what happens when people play the Mr. Beast games, right? Like, that money really be affecting people, right? And so, like, that's why it was pretty interesting to see. And it was just like this comment right here where he's like, "Oh, I spent 20 years of his life playing game." I mean, first of all, the social skills wasn't even the issues. It was okay. Cece's captain, right? And as captain, she wasn't receptive. But the problem was when she first brought in Kingsman, she was asking him for advice. She wanted to know what to do. But the minute it had to do with like switching up, she did not want to do it. And it's just like, even if you didn't want to do it, right? She shut down the idea right away. It was not even, oh, okay, like, why is this so important? Why let's try a different strat? No, because Kingsman was like, okay, let's work a way around it. Let's do a formation based off of Widow because they really wanted to play Widow. And it was no. So with the whole Widow thing, right? The reason why she wanted to play as Widow is because that is her quote unquote brand for a streamer, which is why I think it's crazy with this whole social issue thing, social skills, because if you see the original video, they kept getting upset that he was reading comments, even though he's a streamer, and they're all pretty much streamers because this is a creator event, and they just got upset with every little thing he did. But when it comes to her, the only reason she wanted to stay as Widow because it's apparent quote unquote her brand. Is what they said, right? But she is a flex player, is what was being said. So she knows how to play other characters. And so it wasn't. I think this was the scrim. So this was before the actual event happened. And so it's like it wasn't even a chance to see how the Bucky formation would work and whatnot. And that's why there is so much uproar, because there wasn't even a chance or a thought process behind trying it out. It was just automatic no. So
lack social skills. You are also spending your time inside playing video games. You're a streamer. Why are you using that as an insult against him? I didn't really detect a lack of social skills throughout any of the footage I saw of them playing together. I guess you could make an argument that, you know, maybe his attitude could grind your gears because he was offering like a lot of advice on potential team comps, and he did multiple times mention like, hey, the Black Widow's probably not going to work here. We've got to be mindful of like dive comps, that kind of thing. Would you be willing to try like Bucky perhaps? And they would always kind of like roll their eyes at him and be like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's a clip I saw where one of them was like, you've got to just drop this, drop this, drop this. That's enough. Stop making suggestions, basically, about, you know, switching. It's not happening. Look, which I think is a pretty hostile response to that, because this is coming from a place of him just trying to help the team win. I don't think he was being like necessarily overbearing with it or anything like that. He certainly wasn't really being aggressive about it. Like, he never got personal. He was never like insulting his teammates. He was never doing anything like that from what I could tell. So I truly didn't see like a lack of social skills. I just saw someone who really wanted to win because there was a significant amount of money on the line. And if you're in a tournament, why would you not be trying to win? Team captain even made this statement saying, I don't want to win with someone who can't take no for an answer, which is a certified stinky comment for sure. That's a big time PU moment.
yeah, that was such a dumb comment. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean, my dude? Like, no, I had raged on stream because someone showed me that. Oh yeah, my friend showed me this. So I was just like, it just reminded me of something from when I was doing a competition. It was not for 3K, because trust me, 3K, it's actually 40K, but I don't know how splitting works. But basically, they didn't want us to double up our money because they're like, oh, let's have the other team get their bread up too. I was like, why don't we worry about our bread up first? And I was just like, are you dumb? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm raging already. I don't want to talk about it no more.
Right there for the Jumbotron. I don't know where that's even coming from. His suggestions weren't heeded. Okay? He didn't start, like, you know, stomping his feet and yelling and screaming and pissing and shitting about it either. He's just like, okay, all right, we'll do it. We'll run it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. And when it didn't work, he did eventually say, like, look, told you so. Can we please make this switch? And then still got attacked for it. I didn't see any examples of him not taking no for an answer. Like, yes, he did make a suggestion multiple times, like, would you be willing to try this? Would you be willing to maybe switch here? What about this? But that isn't not taking no for an answer. That is coming from someone who wants to win a fucking $40,000 tournament. He then continued to insult Kingsman and I guess anyone that was supporting him in her Discord, saying, yo, Kingsman cocksuckers, screenshot this. Y'all think I ain't seen the toxicity in the Kingsman Discord with not spreading hate from the mods and Kingsman community? Fire emoji.
I mean, even in his video, he said it multiple times. Don't spread. He can't control that. No matter what, as a content creator, and she should know that herself. You can't control that. But her words aren't making it any better. Cause look, she's literally coming at this. Even when Kingsman was making his video, he wasn't even coming at them. He just showed proof of what was going on. He never attacked their character. He just said they were being aggressive. They weren't listening. They weren't being receptive. But he never attacked the character. And then she's coming at his fans. And Kingsman had nothing to do with this. He said he would ban them, X, Y, and Z. So it's not anything that Kingsman's doing. But I mean, she's addressing the community, obviously. So that's why it's just like, that doesn't help your case, though. Like, I guess she's frustrated. I understand, like, people aren't gonna be like, oh, that don't, it really doesn't matter in this context. But I'm just saying, like, this doesn't help her at all.
Emoji. This one will really get your eyebrow in the air. So she's calling out the people that were supporting Kingsman, saying they're cocksuckers and how toxic they are. Meanwhile, she has been the most openly toxic, like vocally expressing her disdain for this guy and now like his community. And let's not get it twisted. I think it's pretty obvious. Most people have probably seen a lot of like really dog shit takes from people that are using this as just like a giant insult against all women who play video games. That is absolutely happening, and that shit.
Yeah, that stinks. I was just like, that's crazy work. Even girls be saying it. I was just like, I mean, it's just the people within this video. You gotta take it how it is. I think there was more emotional response than logical response. I'm not gonna be like typical woman, da 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 da. Like I see some people be like, oh yeah, typical woman, typical. Oh, I'm gonna be a pick me if I say it, but this is why women can't play games. I'll be like, okay, whatever. But I'm just like, I mean, okay, so we're just gonna judge a whole gender based off of like a few people, whatever. Anywho, yeah, this comments and stuff like that, it's whatever. But like, I think it's just more so how you see one person handle it over the other, and how they happen to be two different sexes or whatever. That this is why it's going on like this. So
Sucks. Those are some fucking losers you can make fun of. Absolutely. But she, from what I can tell when this message was sent, was talking about like anyone that was expressing support for Kingsman, and I'm sure there probably were some like absolute greaseballs that went through and said some terrible things, sure. But to extend that to like anyone that was supporting Kingsman, calling them cocksuckers, I think is just kind of crazy, especially considering she has by far been the most mean and nasty about this. Kingsman, from what I saw from the clips that were during this time, he tried to like actively say like, hey, don't go harass anyone and don't be mean, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, he was clearly upset about it, but I felt like he was doing, or at least making an effort to try and stop people from going and doing shit like that. She, on the other hand,
oh my goodness, yeah. If you saw the video, right? So when Kingsman was reading the comments, right? There's one thing that this is why some people were being like, oh, typical woman, da 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 da, right? There was points in the video, right, where so Kingsman was reading his chat comments, right? and there were comments from, I forgot who it was. I think it was from both CC and Zalza, right? And one of the girls were like, "Oh, all your chats filled with PDF files. You know, stop reading them." And then Kingsman was like, "These comments are from like CC and Zalza," and they're like, "Oh, that's fine then." And then it's just like when you hear the switch up from when it's like, oh well, a girl said it actually. It's like it doesn't help the case because it's just like, oh wait, so when a girl says it, it's fine. When the guy says it, it kind of just, you know, it makes them feel, it makes people feel a certain type of way. So that's why it's like why it's causing so much drama. Even though I feel like with this, it's gonna blow over in a while, but I think that it's just always gonna also be like, oh well, this is why girls shouldn't be da 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 da. But you know, I think also at the end of the day, it's just gonna blow over. But
man was just openly attacking him.
Character? No, I know,
Populo,
bro. Everyone thinks this
just
guy's
died
a
for an
loser.
exploder
Kingsman's a
like a
loser.
bug. That's just what happens.
That's such a good point. You're so right about that, and we're still gonna play Widow.
I need this for my college. I need this for my college. I have about 6 or 7 more years.
This is a clip I keep seeing spread around. That first clip is when he is explaining like why the Widow's not going to work, and they're like, "Oh, great point. Go fuck yourself. We're still playing Widow. That's all we're gonna do. We're here just for good vibes, good time, and I don't care if this money means something to you because it doesn't to us." That second clip, that is not CC. That is someone else named Lucy, whom has deleted this VOD, so I can't even find the full context here, but from the sound of things, she is insulting Kingsman because of him expressing the want of the $3,000 because it would be very helpful to him as a college student. So then she's like making fun of him, taking the piss, even threw in an absolutely revolting 6'7" meme reference that'll make your skin crawl about it. It's just very mean-spirited. There's also another clip of her talking about it, saying, like, even if you support Kingsman, like it's fucking Israel or something. I don't even know what she was trying to say with that one. I guess since I referenced it, I'll show you that clip too.
I have a genuine question. Like, seriously, answer this. Even if you support Kingsman, whatever, support Kingsman like it's fucking Israel. Anyways, whatever you have in your head, I have a genuine question.
I think everyone has a genuine question after seeing that segment there. I don't know why she would be saying something like that with this. Again, the whole VOD, from what I can tell, is no longer accessible, so I don't even know what the question she was about to ask is. But yeah, it's...
So the question not available, people were like, oh, well, I think she had to make an apology video, and it's somewhere on TikTok or something like that. Bro, I was deep diving into this, John. Like, I don't know, because people kept yapping to me. I was just like, let me look some of that stuff up. And she was just like, oh, well, I actually have family in Israel. I'm like #1 supporter. I probably donate more than the rest of you guys combined. And that's when people started getting even more upset because it felt like she was gaslighting. But it was a comment. She said, oh yeah, I donate more than the rest of you guys combined. And I was just like, oh well, okay, but that doesn't really negate what you said. And then she was just like, well, I talk to Kingsman all the time. That's how we talk. And then when she was saying like, oh, she was getting aggressive when shut up to Kingsman because there's nothing he could do. But the thing is, the reason why there's nothing he can do, right, is because no one really backed him up, right? So like, because okay, Cece is the captain, right? Salsa is playing Widow. Salsa doesn't want to change. Cece can make the call. But because they're only hearing Kingsman say it. Now, if what's her name? Lucy, Kaylee, what are the 2 girls, right? Now, if they also were like, you know what, this sounds like a good idea, or hey, why don't we at least try this? It wouldn't sound like Kingsman was pushing. But because Kingsman was the only one saying it, and the only other person was agreeing was the guy, then it, like, he wasn't, okay, the guy was in green. He was like, just drop her. Okay, let's see what we can do. It kind of felt like, you know, in other people's eyes, it could be seen as a man versus woman type of thing instead of a teamwork thing. So, which, you know, might not even be the case. But that's how it can be interpreted, because I was just like, you know what? Like, when you get deeper down into it, right? If only, you know, even if it's like half the teams are like, yeah, let's try this, right? Because it's a 3v3, right? And then the captain would just be like, oh, you know what? Okay, maybe. You know, people are actually thinking about it. It's not just Kingsman. And it's not just one other person. So maybe we could take it into consideration, right? But because no one wanted to back up Kingsman, and if there was someone who's backing up that happened to be, let's say, who wasn't part of CC and Zalza, it could have been like, okay, let's give it a go though. But that wasn't the case. And so then they just felt like he was being aggressive, controlling, and attacking, which he wasn't being any, because it was just literally he was giving his take as a ranked player. Which is why I think Bombs, whenever he was trying to make his cover up or whatever, was giving L takes, in my opinion, because it was just like he heard Cece's side of things and was just like, what do you want me to do about it? And he's like, oh, she didn't make the final call, I did. But literally she's just like, and I greenlit it. And so it was just like, well, it sounds like it was ultimately would it have even been brought up to Bombs? He probably didn't watch the videos. If he did watch the videos, then he would have saw that it was everyone. So it was just like, why was he focusing? Because if everyone else, think about it, if everyone else is looking at this, right? We saw Charlie's video has like 3 million, King's videos have a million, If so many people are seeing, it's like, oh yeah, why is Bombs like here, like, and he has had a lot of competitions like this, and he's just like, no, this was 100% my decision, X, Y, and Z. And that's why I was just like, nope, I don't really believe that. I really think it was more so like, oh, okay, you know what? It's the least amount of work to do, and so I will do it like that. So, and there we have it. So,
It's definitely not a good look, and she is very openly like making fun of Kingsman from what I can see in the clips that still exist of it. But this is not CC. This was not someone that played on Kingsman's team. I don't believe. All of this is only the tip of the iceberg, by the way. It gets so much deeper. There was a Google Doc that was put out there from the widow's boyfriend. The tournament organizer initially like doubled down, saying, nope, I maintain my position here. He deserved to be kicked from this tournament. He violated all of our rules. And then today he came forward very somber, like, look, I know everyone's mad at me and they're right to be mad at me. I was wrong about everything. I looked at this misleading evidence. It was only from one side and it was incorrect. I acted too hastily.
Well, you look at that. One side. Yep. And that's why I was like, I'll take. So, because that's ultimately what he did. He didn't even look at it. That's what he did. He didn't look at it. That's why he has to apologize, because he didn't look at it. You know why I know this? Because I actually worked in corporate, okay? And here's what happens, right? Okay, here's a good, crazy story, right? So, you know, what happens? Let's say you're working, right? And you get accused of something, right? And you be like, no, I didn't. They're like, we heard resources. We heard the takes. From who? We can't say. I was like, oh, but they can say my name. They can spread my name. That's not important. I was like, okay. So what if I say people's name, huh? That's not important. Okay. Okay. Huh. Okay. So if you have evidence, show me the proof. We don't have any. So why you brought this up? Exactly. So I don't need to hear more about this. That's what I said. The guy was just acting out of haste. He didn't watch the whole video. He didn't care. He was just like, oh, well, it's affecting my mood. And so in the video, she was like, oh, here's what happened, right? They kept taunting him in the video. They kept talking, oh, we're not gonna play another round. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna play some ranked battles by myself. Like, are you sure you don't want to play another round with us? No, you sure? Right? What's up, King? And then Cece's like, oh, I gotta use bathroom real quick. That's when she contacts Bombs. And then Bombs 20 minutes later is like, to Kings, you're kicked out. So, by the way, if he actually reviewed the information, the footage and everything, how would that take him only 20 minutes? Because Cece has to contact him, right? How can he make that call 20 minutes? Because he didn't review the information. So, and he said he wasn't basing it off of all the Discord messages, X, Y, and Z. But obviously he wasn't doing his research because he didn't watch the video.
So now he's like singing a very different tune about how, you know, he's had this come to Jesus moment after seeing the other side of the story with Kingsman. It's very clear that he was manipulated by incorrect information. He shouldn't have kicked him from the tournament.
When they come in here, the people, when they come in here, when they hate, they're justified in what they're saying. They're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. 100%. No question about it. Like, there's no beating around the bush. I don't know why it's like difficult to admit when you're wrong and when you fucked up. I made a decision based off of haste and based off of misinformation, but everybody in the team knew what was going on. Everybody in this team knew what was going on, and the fact that nobody told me it was, that's whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Also, Kaplunk.
The fact that no one told me it's whatever. It's whatever. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
Whom was the boyfriend in this story is reaching out with an apology, saying that he went about it the wrong way and overstepped. Zaza, the widow, told him to leave it alone, but he couldn't control his impulses. The demon had to be let out of the cage. Thus, he went in and started sending clips to the tournament organizer to kick him, the Google Doc, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, Cece, the team captain, the one who was by
Okay, do I have to read this? Let me read this. Yeah. And I just, okay, yep, because, yep, I was angry, ended up lashing out at him. Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay.
far the most openly hostile to Kingsman, and anyone that was showing any level of support for him came forward with an apology as well, saying, I'm sorry, I was going off the video and forgot to explicitly call this out. Earlier today, I woke up with 1,000 noties from the day before, and people had joined my server from Kingsman, having a panic attack, and I just started experiencing them. So in my freak out, I said Kingsman lacks social skills because he spends his time playing video games inside. I was angry and ended up lashing out at him lashing out at him instead of his community. I deeply regret it. I apologize for flinging another insult out. It shows I have terrible character, but I will be working on watching the words I say and getting help with my panic attacks. A community note even got hot dropped on here straight off the battle bus saying, even after the initial situation calmed down, CC continued to bully Kingsman and speak ill of him across social media. CC has a history of attacking other players and talking trash.
Crazy.
So that apology didn't really go as smoothly as I think she was hoping it would. And interestingly enough, from what I can find, Kingsman throughout this entire thing has tried to urge people not to harass anyone that's been involved in it. You know, Zaza, her boyfriend, Cece, anyone. He's been trying to like actively calm things down to the best of his ability, but this clearly blew up well beyond anyone's wildest expectations. And Kingsman actually was able to make over $3,000, which would have been his cut of the prize money should they have won the tournament, through subs and donations the last time he streamed, which I believe was last night. So a bit of a happy ending for Kingsman. Not exactly the smoothest sailing for his teammates that were bullying him, attacking him, and insulting him. That hasn't worked out super well so far. Anyway, that's really about it. Yep.
Okay, so my question about this, only question I have left is how on earth do they even have like $3,000 cut is my question, because it's a $40,000 tournament and there's 6 people in a team. Why is it like 3,000? Why isn't it like 6,000? Because I'm thinking about taxes or something like that. Why is it only 3,000 they get each? Can someone explain that? Like, anyone in the tournament ever like do any of that stuff? So yeah, but that's the video. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. And dang, that was quite the video. So yeah, what do you guys think about it? Bye.